Thank you so much for doing this with me. I'm so excited to hear all about you and Jazz in July.
Sure, no problem.
Mhm. So, would you like to start with just introducing yourself and your connection to Jazz in July?
Sure. Yeah, my name is David Picchi. I'm the program director at Jazz in July and the administrative director at Jazz in July at the UMass Amherst Fine Arts Center. Not only that, but I'm also alum of the program. I'm a bass player. I came through in 2004 as I was transferring in from Holyoke Community College to the UMass Music Department, and uh, and had a really wonderful experience. And then I've been working with the program since 2008, I think.
That's awesome. You said bass you played?
Yeah, I play bass.
Was that the first instrument you ever picked up?
No, I started on trumpet when I was 10. My dad played trumpet, and we had one in the house, and so it was fun to play with and kind of make sounds. And then by the time I was 11, all of my friends played guitar, and I started playing bass, and all of a sudden I was in all of their bands because I was the only one who was playing bass.
That's really cool. What drew you to jazz?
Honestly, in high school, in middle school, even like junior high, around like seventh grade, it was the only place I could play bass at school. It was playing an after school jazz band. And it was a large ensemble, and we were reading music, and I learned how to read and everything. But it was the only place that I could play my instrument at school, and like with so many people. Then I started listening to the music, and that kind of got me into it. And then by high school, I had opportunities to play in smaller combo contexts, not just with a large ensemble big band music. And I really got into the art of improvisation and what that could do and how I could play with it and express myself and search and hear different sounds. And I started listening to more and more of the music I got really into at that time. Listening to a lot of like John Coltrane and Charles Mingus and Wayne Shorter, and was really all about that, and and how creative their music was.
That's really great. And how does Jazz in July kind of help kids to find themselves through music and that improv?
Yeah, well, I think one of the great things about Jazz in July is that we have so many people, and there's young people, and there's older folks, there's middle-aged people. I mean, it's ages from 15 up. So we have creative musicians from all sorts of walks of life, and students of different ages. And Jazz in July allows those students to not only be immersed in a community of like-minded individuals who are all like looking for how can we learn more about this? How can we crack this nut? And how can we get a deeper understanding of the music and a deeper experience in playing it and in listening to it and learning from each other? And they get to be surrounded by that, as well as our faculty is just incredible, and so nurturing, and not only just bewildering to be next to them and hear the music that they're playing, but then be able to come up after the performance and say, "Hey, what's going? I love this moment. Can you help me get? How can I do that?" And so for the faculty to be able to work with all the students and help them learn new ways of expressing themselves and get deeper into finding how to connect with their instruments.
That's great. Can you talk through kind of what the structure of Jazz in July is for someone who might not have been there before, might not know really how it works?
Sure. So we have at Jazz in July, we've got two different programs that are kind of running at the same time in a lot of ways. So there's a vocalists program and there's an instrumentalist program. So throughout the day for the instrumentalists, you come in at 9 o'clock and you're right into your combo rehearsal, right? So all morning you're in rehearsal with your peers that's coached by one of our faculty members. And you take a lunch break. After you come back from lunch, you're going into an improv session that's coached by and this is for both of the instrumentalists and the vocalists, that they're in this improv session that's coached by a different faculty member every day. And then we get into master classes in the afternoon. And so the vocalists are all working with their faculty trio. They're accompanied by piano, bass, and drums, professional trio, and working with Sheila Jordan and Catherine Jensen Holt, and this year also Dominic Eade. So these brilliant vocal coaches, and then at the same time, the all of the instruments are in different master classes, so all the drummers go with the drum faculty and all the guitar players go with the guitar faculty, and everybody's in different rooms kind of getting deep into there. One day during the week we combine all the vocalists with the instrumental combos, and so as a combo player you get a chance to be accompanying a vocalist, and as a vocalist you have to now deal with a band of your peers rather than a professional group, and everybody can learn a lot from that experience, and the coaches are there the whole time to facilitate what happens. We'll have different experiences with guests coming in and giving maybe a guest lecture, but you come in on Monday, you start rehearsing. Wednesday night, already your first gig, right? On Wednesday night, we got Club Jazz in July. It happens in the campus center on the 11th floor of the Marriott Center, and that's open to the public, and they dress the room up like it's a club. We got a little bit of a stage in there. We got some lights, got a nice sound happening, and there's like tables and chairs and popcorn and a bar in the back. And, it's really get that club atmosphere. And everybody does short performances because it's just the middle of the week, short, like a 15-minute set from each combo and like one song from each of the vocalists. And then Thursday, they're right back into it and rehearsing. Friday, they're playing all day performances in a recital hall. So it's like they get a longer set. They get a chance to stretch out a little more. They get to hear each other. And then by the end of the week, they're either staying for another week or some folks hit the road. At the end of the whole program, we have our Jazz in July All-Stars concert, which is going to be downtown on the Amherst Town Common. That's July 21st. Starts at like 6 or 6:30. And there'll be like an opening set, and then we have so many faculty members on board this year between the 2 weeks, and almost everybody's able to participate in the concert. So it's going to be fabulous, and just keep your fingers crossed for good weather.
That's so amazing. I'm so excited to see what those performances are going to look like and hear them. That sounds absolutely wonderful. How was the program
it's going to be
changed?
awesome.
How has the program changed since you were in it originally?
Well, some of the faculty has changed. It's been 20 years, so there's unfortunately some people are no longer with us. Founder of the program was at the time director of the UMass Amherst Fine Arts Center, Dr. Frederick C. Tillis, and Dr. Tillis was involved. Still at that point, they were about 20 years in when I came, and he was still playing, he was still performing, he was floating from room to room, and Dr. Billy Taylor as well, the co-founder, was those guys, and Max Roach, really, who's not been with us for a long time. He wasn't there when I was there, but Billy Taylor was there too, and he would play like with his trio with Chip Jackson and Winnard Harper. They were playing performances, and then he would do some of the piano faculty, but he would float from room to room. So I mean, that's the biggest change since I was there, is the people who are on the faculty. Although we still have some folks, who were there then, and we have people teaching there who are alum of the program too. I mean, otherwise the age a lot has come down. There used to be a lot more adults involved, and now there are adults, but it's the median has come down a little bit. To be younger, and that's great that more young people are getting interested in trying to access. Like there were definitely high school. I was there in college. There were definitely high school students, and there was a lot of adults. So and that was the original. I think back in the '80s when they started the program, it was really a lot of adults.
Do the students tend to come from local schools near Amherst, or is it all over the place?
Well, they do come from all around. One of the great things about having faculty who don't just live here, we have a lot of faculty who are on the UMass music department. And we also have faculty who are other musicians in our community, great music educators and performers, as well as people who are coming from further away. Steve Davis, great trombone player coming up from Connecticut. He's teaching down at the Hart School. And Earl McDonald's a great piano player who lives also in Connecticut. Sheila Jordan comes up from New York. People are kind of coming from the greater area around, and sometimes from LA. And so they help us sometimes bring people from their communities as well. and then the advertising we do, I go to some national conferences and I try to spread the word and make connections with folks. And our alumni network is really big. There's a lot of folks that have come through. You can imagine in 42 or so years how many people have come through every summer, and then they go on and they end up in different places, right? And then one of the questions on our application is, how did you hear about Jazz in July? And so often it's, my band director at school came through when they were younger, and they said, oh, it's a great program, you got to go check this out. Somebody coming through like 25 years ago and says, oh, they're still sending students our way because they had such a great experience. So that helps us stretch out further. We do award a lot of scholarships, for tuition scholarships for Jazz in July. So that helps us connect, especially with our local community. We had the UMass High School Jazz Festival happen back in April, and we awarded a ton of scholarships there. And that's a lot of schools who are in the, within a 100-mile radius. And we have programs with schools that are closer too. And I visit a lot of the schools who are, a little closer, maybe more within 50 miles and so. And I meet students that way, so we can get them involved, and help the people in our community.
That's awesome. The combination of people from all over the place must make for such different creative combinations. Um,
Yeah, it's cool. Everybody's coming from a different perspective, right?
yeah, definitely. You said that applications are still coming in. What do you guys look for, or what does the application process look like?
Well, the application process looks like filling out a questionnaire on our website. That's, some personal information, your name, where you come from, what instrument you play. And then there's like an open paragraph area that's tell us about your background, how long you've been playing, what you've been doing, where do you perform, where do you study, those sorts of things. Um, Real pretty basic stuff. There's a music theory diagnostic, music theory quiz that's like multiple choice and pretty straight up, just so we can get a feel for where people are at. And then there's the audition recording. So we ask people to submit 2 songs of contrasting styles and just a little bit, just play the melody and take a solo, for a rhythm section folks, like comp a little bit so we can hear you play some different styles. But it's really just a screening process to help make sure that you're going to be in a position where you can get the most out of the program. It's not meant to, to be cutthroat or anything like that. And then so I'll screen the applications, and then I pass them on to our artistic director, Jeff Holmes, who's been on the faculty of Jazz in July since the beginning. He's the longest faculty member, and so Jeff is teaching the brass masterclass during the first week, and he'll be coaching combos, and then he'll be floating kind of during the second week. And he's the artistic director of the program, so he'll screen all of the audition recordings and applications and help assemble the combos. So we do usually 6 different ensembles for the instrumental program, and we'll have them grouped up together in ways that we can best accommodate where we think they'll get the most out of the experience.
That sounds like a great way to put together wonderful combinations that are gonna all help each other excel.
Yeah, I agree. That's the idea, right? That's our hope.
Mhm. What is your personal favorite part of this program?
My It's a little tricky because I'm a behind the scenes person for it. Like leading into the program, I'm reviewing all the applications, I'm securing all the room reservations, I'm making sure that the people have a place to like where they can eat and where they can sleep, and all these kind of like logistics that go in beyond. Make sure that everybody has their health information in, and we get a dorm chaperone, and that they have clearly printed schedules and they understand where they're supposed to go when they need to be there, that there's signs in the right place so that everybody, the music department can be a little tricky with a few different floors there, and there's a lot of going up and down stairs and stuff, and helping people understand like the layout and get comfortable. So my favorite part of the program is when I can see participants just making friends, moving around, telling jokes, like playing great music, like making new connections and expanding their community and becoming a part of our community. When everybody looks comfortable and that they know what's going on, so they're not concerned about being late to something, or where do I find this, all that kind of anxiety those things get in the way of trying to be creative. And
Mhm.
so when they feel good and they feel like they know what's going on, and then they can get in their zone to play their best and have the best experience. And then they go and they perform. You know, the performances are awesome. Like everything is. I love going and sitting in on the master classes and getting to hear about the way that the faculty explains the stuff to the students and the way that they engage together, watching people light up when the things click into place. I don't know, everything, I guess. So I just keep going on.
Yeah, being able to see that journey must be really rewarding, especially knowing how much you contribute to this whole program.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm just doing my job.
Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers before we go?
No, come out and see what we're doing. You know, the Wednesday nights are really some of the most fun. The Wednesday night Club Jazz in July performances, they're really popular and that room can fill up. But that's in the Marriott Center on the Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. And it's about a 3-hour concert. And you're just constantly new stuff, right? Next band, next singer, next, moves right along. It doesn't feel like it's drawn out or anything. It's a really wonderful showcase. You get to hear everything. Join us on Fridays for the longer experience at Byzantine Recital Hall, and then definitely come out and see us on the Amherst Town Common on July 21st. That's a Friday, and that's at about 6 p.m. And there's vendors down there, right? There's all the downtown. There's tons of food. You can go into any shop and bring the food down. There's some drinks. And there's plenty of water, and it'll be a great time. And the rain location is Bowker Auditorium. In case it rains, the show will go on.
Definitely. Great. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.